All right, Todd here with Jeep Speed Shop, here to talk about 8-speed wiring in a Jeep JK, like this one here. This is an '08 Jeep JK that we're putting a 5.7 truck Hemi and an HP 70 four-wheel drive transmission in. Now this one's going to be a carb legal setup, and we're just in the middle of mocking this thing up, getting it ready, and we're on to the next step, which is 8-speed wiring. So we're going to talk a little bit about 8-speed wiring and the connections and what to do, what not to do. So I'm going to start with the 5 connections that you're going to need to make. This one, the red one, goes to battery power all the time. So we usually always hook it to right here. We always tie it in right there and then hook it to the battery box. So we'll reuse this fuse holder for the red battery all the time. Now yellow, just keyed power also while cranking. We use a fuse tap like this one, and then we tie that into the TIPM, which is the fuse box under the hood. It's the TIPM. This is where we're putting it in this Jeep. This is an '08 JK. Now they're all different because this thing is programmed. The TIPMs are programmed. It's actually a module, not necessarily a fuse box, even though I'm calling it that. This is the location that we're going to use in this Jeep. Not going to be the same for everybody. So you got to test them all to find keyed power also while cranking. You don't have that, the transmission will not work. So, all right, so back to the harness. So next connection, ground, good chassis ground or body ground, where all the grounds are. I can kind of show you that when we get inside. And then the next connection, CAN bus. Okay, we use this one. This plug is actually for the Mopar Performance applications. So you're not going to do that, obviously. So we're going to cut that plug off and tie these into the CAN bus inside the Jeep. So we're going to walk inside the Jeep. Like I said, '08 JK, 5.7 truck Hemi, HP 70. Now, they're not all the same and not even close. So on this one, white twisted pair right there, tapping into this white twisted pair. Now this one here is white with green and white with blue. Now what I always tell everybody, strip the insulation back, wrap the wiring, the last CAN bus wires and our module setup onto that, and then turn the key on and then see if you get park. Okay, park in the shifter, park in the dash. If you get park in the dash and park in the shifter, you're golden. This will work fine. Now, worst case scenario, all falls apart, nothing's gonna work. You can go over to the OBD2 plug. There's 2 CAN bus wires in the back of there. Let's see if I can do that or not. That's a good question. Yeah. Okay, so you can see the 2 CAN bus wires in the back. You could tap into those. That would work. So that would be a Hail Mary. All right. Never had to do that yet, but you could. All right. So back over here. And let's see here. So grounds, there's a lot of grounds under here that you can use. Like everything else in these Jeeps, it varies. So just find a good ground spot, like one of the bolts, ground the wiring harness, and you'll be good. So there's also a ground over there if need be, but you ground it in here. CAN bus tie-in is right here. Remember, white twisted pair only. In this Jeep here, I see 2 white twisted pair. I see one white with green, white with blue, and the other one's white with yellow, white with blue. So either one would work too in this application. All right. So remember, this thing is an '08 Jeep JK. All right, I don't know what else to touch on this deal, but we also, every time we do power steering, that also gets brought up. We use PSC setup. We use their pump, truck pulley, the mount for the firewall, and their reservoir just seems to work the best. Even though I get that it's probably more expensive, but definitely a way to go. It just works awesome. So, all right. I think that's about it. So, and I don't know if I touched on the grommet, but we always reuse the grommet. Never cut the plug off. You just pull the end off. And then when you put the end back on, you make sure you put it all the way back on the way it's supposed to go, to where you have, you know, the thing countersunk in there, all right? Because this wiring should not be flush to this. It should be all the way inside where my finger is right there. This piece here should be all the way there. So this thing should be countersunk in there over 1/4 of an inch when you put it back together. Not flush, all the way countersunk inside. So, all right, I think I touched on everything. If I missed anything, add it in the comments. I will get back to you on anything on this wiring. So it's really simple, 5 connections, and it's working great. This stuff's working really awesome, and guys are getting it, and it's working perfectly. So, all right, Jeep Speed Shop out.